Hey guys, it's Melanie. Welcome back to another Kringle candle review. We are tackling another one of the fall 2022 releases from the Country Candle line, which is available via the Kringle website. As always, I will link Kringle down below in the description box. I will also leave my discount code if you're interested in purchasing anything. There is no minimum to be able to use it. And it combines with a lot of the different sales. However, some of the sales it does not work with, but it's always worth a try to see if you can save a few extra bucks. So Golden Path was new for fall 2022. And this one really intrigued me just based off of the fragrance notes because there is quite a bit of citrus in this particular scent. And I have really come to appreciate citrus fragrances in the last year or two. I feel like there have been large chunks of my life where I could have really taken a hard pass on anything citrus. I've always been really picky about it, but I've definitely opened up a lot more to citrus fragrances, and one of my favorites is definitely the Sicilian Orange from the soy candle line from Kringle. It is so heavenly. I've talked it to death here on my channel, so I won't harp too much about it, but if you've never tried it, you absolutely need to. It is so good. But let's go ahead and talk about this Golden Path scent, because this also in a way reminds me of just kind of a very typical 90s perfume. There's just something about this that just screams 90s perfume to me. Anyway, let's begin with their scent description here. Okay, Golden Path. Begin your walk down an earthy path, citrusy with a masculine edge. This is a scent experience you might just have to savor for yourself to appreciate the subtle complexities. So your top notes here are orange, mandarin, and galbanum. There we go. Your mid notes are green tea, aqueous, and orange blossom. And your base is ambergris, musky, and amorous. So there are definitely some perfumey notes in here. Ambergris is quite frequently used in a lot of perfumes. It's absolutely beautiful. It does have a real muskiness to this, and then they also add the additional musk in here. But really what stands out to me the most here are these citrus notes. You really pick up the orange and the mandarin, and you also pick up that orange blossom, that kind of subtle, I guess, neroli type note. It's really, really nice. Does this smell like a fruity candle per se? Actually not. As citrusy as it is, it comes across more of like I said, a perfume, something that you would either have in a body spray or in a perfume type format. And it also comes across as a slightly unisex type fragrance. It kind of reminds me of the same vibe, I guess, as maybe a CK1, where it could just very easily go in either direction, as, coming across as somewhat feminine or even slightly masculine, like they say in the description. I really think if you like citrus and you want a completely different take on citrus, you're really gonna like this. There is a warmth to this. There is a kind of borderline, romantic type vibe to this. I think this would be a really lovely bedroom type scent because it's got that perfuminess to it, but it also has some nice freshness to it in the way of the citrus, and it's just really well done. As far as some of these other notes, this aqueous note, I really don't get I don't know that I get anything like aquatic about this per se, and green tea, it's not something that I really pick up, but I do pick up that ambergris and the muskiness that is associated with that. It's really nice. I wish there was like an actual fragrance that I could compare it to. It's just really interesting and fresh and definitely complex. I think this is one where I would say, even if you're just placing an order for like a bunch of gourmand stuff, this would be one that's worth picking up in a daylight to just like add it to the cart to be able to smell it. Because I think a lot of people, especially people like me who tend to gravitate more towards like fruity or gourmand scents, might look at this and go, no, I'm a pass. But I bet a lot of people would actually like it if they could stick their nose in it. It's so hard to purchase from companies like Kringle because, you know, most of us really want to be able to smell our fragrances before we commit to buying them. And that's what makes shopping a lot of these like exclusively or mostly online companies, because there are, you know, different boutiques that will sell Kringle and Country Candles, I believe. But for the most part, like, you know, when we're buying these scents, like probably over 90% of us have to purchase them from the Kringle website. And that can be hard because like, committing to a large jar of something that you really only have fragrance notes for can be difficult. So hopefully the reviews that you watch, not only from me, but from other candle reviewers, are helpful to you in making your decision. I think the best thing to do is just to find a reviewer who, you know, maybe you've tried some of their suggestions, and if you tend to agree with a lot of their reviews after you try the products yourself, then that might be a good person to rely on for fragrances where you're a little bit more like on the fence about them. And this is one for me that I think would be worth taking a chance on, at least in the daylight format, because it's really interesting and I really like this one. In terms of the strength of this, I've kind of moved this one around the house just a little bit. I would say the strength is around like probably about a 6.5. Kind of, again, like somewhat average for the paraffin wax candles that I've tried from Kringle. The throw is, I would say, this carries a little bit further than it is strong. I tend to find that I can smell this one above other fragrances, but not because it's like super powerful, but I think it's because it's so unique, right? Like the notes from this are very different from what I typically burn. So when I walked in the house the other day after taking the dogs for a walk, I had blown the candles out, but when I walked back in, like this was definitely the thing that I noticed first. And when I like take the garbage out, get some fresh air, walk back in, like this fragrance really pops out to me. And it seems to not fill, but I can smell it in most of the downstairs. So I'm gonna say the throw is actually better than the strength. I won't put it at like an 8 or anything, but I'm gonna put it at like a solid 7.5. And I think that's only because the notes that are in here are just super distinguishable. So this should scent a decent chunk of your house, even if you have a more open concept layout like I do. In terms of just the overall general burn, once again, I am trimming the wicks super short. I am burning these for, I don't think I've mentioned this in a while, but I typically burn my country candles for about 4 or 5 hours. Because they are paraffin, they can burn longer. That being said, make sure you trim those wicks because paraffin can start to soot. So just watch that pretty carefully. I don't get as deep of a wax pool with this one. You can see here that the wax pool is only about, I don't know, that's not even quite an inch, but that's pretty typical for this particular one. And I still smell it throughout the majority of the house, so I don't even think that I need a bigger wax pool on this. Ignore this wax here. I'm gonna loop it around if you can see this. Yesterday when I went to go extinguish this, I decided to like swirl the wax around because I don't know why I just didn't blow it out like I normally do. But anyway, I extinguished it, but then like the wax got all like messy up here. So that's my bad. Yeah, overall, I really like this one. I would totally actually repurchase this next year. If they come out with this scent again next year, it's another one and done. But if it comes out again next year, I'll totally get it again. It's really nice, you guys. And like I said, if you're up for something different, up for something new and a little bit more unique, check this one out. Does it scream fall necessarily? I don't know. I mean, you could totally burn this in like the summer, and I think it'd be fine during the summer months as well. Nothing really screams fall for me about this one, but it just screams more like bedroom scent than anything else. So hopefully this was helpful. If you are new here, I would love it if you would take the time to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up if you found it helpful. And I will see you guys in the next one. Take care. Toodaloo.